right. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Oh, come on. Were you guys out that late? Let's try that again. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
There we go. So the day before Summit starts is always one of my favorite days because that's when we have all of the activities. And every year, I don't get a chance to participate in the activities, but what I like about it so much are the stories that come out of the activities. So every year we always get some great stories. Like one year we got the world's worst golf score. Maddie, you're never going to live that one down, my friend. I'm sorry. There's been great stories about people jumping into cold rivers. And this year, we had the ghost tour, we had the airboating. So I knew some good stuff was going to come out of this. So last night I was talking to a few clients, and some of them had told me about the airboating and said that they had picked up some alligators and held some alligators. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. One of our clients, I think, actually kissed an alligator, so that was pretty adventurous. But the story that I loved the most was one of our clients came up to me last night, and he and I are friends. We used to work together. And I said, what'd you do? And he said, oh, I went on the airboat. I said, how was it? He goes, well, I wrestled an alligator. I went, you wrestled an alligator? And he goes, yeah. I was like, really? He said, yeah. I said, well, let me qualify that a little bit. He said it was a baby alligator and it had a rubber band around its mouth, but I wrestled it. Anyway, so to each their own, wrestling alligators or whatever you did yesterday. I hope you had fun. But the big thing with yesterday that was so exciting to hear is that it's the first time for a lot of you to be in New Orleans. And this is such a different type of city. The architecture is really interesting. The food and the music are absolutely fantastic. And it's authentic, it's gritty, slightly dirty, but it's got its own charm about it. And I think it's one of those places that you just absolutely have to experience. So I'm glad that our summit has brought so many of you here for the first time. So with that, welcome to our 2017 iProspect Client Summit. Now, for our clients, this is such an important week for us because we really view this as a celebration, as a celebration of our relationship with you. The things that we get to experience here with you, alligator wrestling aside, the things that we get to experience here with you are just things that we can't do on an everyday basis, where we can come together with our collective thought leadership, where you can really see the depth and experience and capability in the agency, where we can just sit back and talk with you and have a chance to reflect on what we've done, successes, challenges, hear more about your business. It's a special week for us to really celebrate our relationship with you. And on behalf of everyone at iProspect, everyone that's here in the room and all the people that are at our offices that are watching this live right now because we're streaming this to them, we just want to thank you. Thank you for being here and for partnering with us. And, the clients are a big part of what makes up an agency. You define a lot of who we are, and we really appreciate that. So thank you for making the time to be here with us. For our partners, this event wouldn't be possible without your support. Not only your support just for this event, but your support with our teams, your dedication and commitment to our clients. Everyone will see our partner logos spread throughout the event. There's representatives from all of our partners here. People will be speaking on stage. Your commitment to us and our relationship with you is so important, and we're really happy every year when you're here, and the same partners keep coming back, and I think that you get a lot out of it, and we do too, and your participation is paramount for making the success. And to the team, to my team, I said this to you yesterday. We are here, everyone is here They're here for you and the relationships that you've built with everyone that's sitting around you. And I'm here for you. We are all here for you, and I can't thank you enough. I don't have the right words to thank you enough for all of your dedication to our clients, to the agency, and most important, to each other. You know, you guys, you really do, you make me proud every single day. And finally, to Katie and Rachel and Sarah and Karen, our marketing team, you know, they start working on this event the day after the last event ends, and they work tirelessly on this, down to every last detail. And for those of you that were in Asheville, and someone brought this up to me last night, you know, we were sitting there and we were watching fireworks go off over the Biltmore, and I was like, oh boy, how are we ever going to outdo this? But this team continues to figure out a way to outdo it every single year. So last year at Vegas, it was better than the year before, and this year in NOLA, I know that you will deliver a conference that sets the new bar. Okay. So I'll stop with, I'm sure some of you will be happy about this, I'll stop with the emotional piece of this. Save one thing. And one thing that I think is really important for all of us as we think about the space that we're in and the business that we're in and the challenges that we've got. And one thing that I believe deep down in my heart is what will make us all successful. I consider myself to be incredibly lucky to lead an agency like this. I'm so lucky for, you know, a couple of really key reasons. I mean, first and foremost, we have the best people in the business. We have the best people in the space. And yeah, I'm biased. Of course I'm biased. But I also know that they are the best because I get to spend a lot of time at different conferences. I get to be out in the industry. I get to meet people from our competitive set. I'm all over it, and I see the caliber of our people versus the rest of the folks that are in the industry. And I know, bar none, that we've got the best people. But just having the best skill sets, it's not enough. You know, and this one time I was having breakfast. I was having breakfast with my mentor, and we were talking about how to be successful in the agency business, and he looked at me and he said, you know, it's not hard to find smart people in an agency. And he was right. It's not. I mean, you go to any agency and you will find smart people. I think ours are smarter than most, but you will find smart people. He goes, the challenge isn't that. The challenge is getting all of those smart people to march in the same direction. And think about this, and you all know this, when you get really smart people all together, everyone has their own opinions. And because they're smart people, they think their opinions are right. So how do you coalesce all of that brain power and get everybody moving in the same direction? That's the big challenge. And why I consider myself so lucky to run an agency like iProspect is because of the culture that we have. Yeah, we've got the best people, and they have the best skill sets, but we have the best culture. And that is driven by all the people within our agency. And it's so important because our culture is all about collaboration. It's about supporting each other. It's about knowing that collectively we are strong. It's about understanding that good ideas can come from anywhere and from anyone. And when you have this philosophy and this approach, you're not afraid. You're not afraid to take risks. You're not afraid to challenge each other. And you know that you're going to be challenging in a safe environment where your voice can be heard, where your message can be heard, and where we can take that information and start to make things better. And we're also not afraid to say, I don't know, and I need some help, and I need your input on this. And that culture That DNA that makes up our agency is so important. And one of the things that we talk about all the time within iProspect and within our larger network is around the digital economy. And I love talking about the digital economy, not just because that's the space that we're in, but I love the way that we have classified businesses within this economy. Now, we all know that our space is changing so much. It's changing all the time, and there's all sorts of new phrases to describe that change. I mean, you hear people talk about the expectation economy, and you'll hear that a lot at this summit. And right now, there's tons of conversation about artificial intelligence and machine learning, and that's going to be important because of the way that we're going to interact with each other and devices and market to those things and market to people and market to machines. All of that stuff is going to keep changing. But I always go back to the digital economy and how we look at businesses in the digital economy. Because we have two ways that we look at businesses. In the digital economy, we look at you as either you are a startup or you're a turnaround. And I really like those classifications because I think it fits. I think it fits for all of us. Now, iProspect, we're a startup. We might have 700 people, and now we're bringing 150 new people into our family. For those of you that heard about the acquisition of Leapfrog online yesterday, and I'll talk a bit more about that in a few minutes. But we're a startup, even though we've been in business for 20 years. And the reason that we are a startup is because of our mentality and how we look at the space. We believe that anything is possible. We believe anything is possible. And that's so important in the space that we're in because it's constantly changing. And because we believe anything is possible, and that is one of our guiding principles, we believe that any goal is achievable. I'll say that again because I'm sure our clients are writing that down. Yes, we do believe that any goal is achievable. We really do. And that comes back to our culture. And that defines who we are. And I want to make sure that I share that with you because this is the agency that you chose to partner with. This is how we see things. And this is what we want to bring to you. And this is why when we bring new people into our family, because we look at things this way, we can make them successful because we're open and willing to take on new ideas and new approaches. And that's how we're going to deliver the best cutting-edge solutions to you as our clients. Now, the turnaround piece, I love talking about the turnaround piece because I think that that gets a lot of attention in the space. You know, how do you look at your businesses and start to transform where you are today to where you want to be tomorrow? And a lot of what we hear with the turnaround piece is that businesses, a lot of businesses like all of yours are, and a lot of economists say this, are encumbered by legacy. You've got legacy products, maybe ways that you set up your services, infrastructure, supply chains, manufacturing, storefronts, whatever. You've got legacy. And one of the things that people talk about in the digital economy and businesses that have been successful in the digital economy is that they're not encumbered by legacy. I mean, we've all heard this with Uber and Airbnb. You know, they're not encumbered by legacy. They don't have infrastructure. They're just connecting two different audiences together with a bit of technology in the middle. And their currency is people. And yeah, I believe that is true. And yes, you can't deny the success that they have had. But what I believe is that the legacy parts of your business, and yeah, sometimes there's cost that's dragging you down a little bit that has to be dealt with, but I believe that the legacy parts of your business are your number one assets. It's just how do we take those things and turn them into assets? So, you know, I look at one of our clients, GM, and we've got a lot of people from GM here today. And for those of you that don't know, GM launched a startup within their organization called Maven. Now, Maven, simply put, is about ride sharing. And Maven launched, we work on the Maven business, bringing it out to the masses. And Maven has been incredibly successful. Now, GM was very specific. They wanted to make sure that Maven sat outside of the rest of the organization and had that startup mentality. But the simple fact is that Maven is still connected to the legacy piece of the business. And it's been so successful and so disruptive in the market because the legacy piece of the business is what supplies it. Yes, Maven is connecting an audience and a service together, but they own the supply. They own the cars. And not only do they own that, but they can customize that experience by what kind of car they put you in and all the accessories that are surrounding that. And now they're being more disruptive to the market than any other ride-sharing service that's out there. And that's how they've taken their legacy part of their business and turned this into an asset. And I believe that that is possible. I believe that's possible for all of us to do. And that's the part that I get so excited about and why I love where we're sitting and why we get to partner with great clients like you. And so the other thing that we talk about a lot when we talk about the digital economy and how we help businesses, whether they're in the startup phase or they're a turnaround and in this transformation phase, is our role and where we believe we sit alongside of you is at that point of market entry. How we can take what we do and understand as much about your audience as possible so that we can create that one-to-one relationship. Whether it's in search or in display or in paid social or in content, so that we can create that unique one-to-one relationship and answer that question and provide them with the information that they need to continue down the path of their journey. But we need to do this at scale, because when we can do it at scale, that's when we're going to have the biggest impact on your business. And now why we're so excited about the addition of Leapfrog into the iProspect family, and we've got a lot of folks here from Leapfrog today, and I want to welcome all of them. And you'll hear a lot more about what they do, and they're going to be an active participant in this summit. But really simply put, what Leapfrog has developed is a technology platform that delivers a personalized content solution. Taking landing pages and being able to dynamically adjust them to what we know about the individual so that we can drive that action more effectively, whatever it is. Sale, a lead, an application, engagement with content, that's what they do really, really well. And so when you think about where iProspect sits and where we work with you right now and sitting at that point of market entry when the consumer starts their journey and where Leapfrog sits to help complete that journey, we're kind of bringing the best of all worlds together. And this is what we believe will really help us continue to push the envelope and stay ahead in the digital economy and deliver the best possible results to you at the end of the day. And now, everyone talks about, and I wholeheartedly agree, that the consumer journey isn't linear anymore. I mean, you've got people that are bobbing and weaving and moving in and out of different ecosystems, and they're engaging with content across a variety of different screens, and that's all true. And the journey can potentially get even more confusing as time goes on. But the one thing that will always stay true with the journey is that there is a start point and there is an end point. And then it starts up all over again. And I believe now that we've really got the key ingredients that can help us deliver against that and can help you and be that critical partner that you need as we move forward in the digital economy to whatever it is that you're trying to do. Whatever new product, existing product, or evolution of a service that you want to bring to the market, we will be there to help make sure that the beginning and the end of that journey and every step in between delivers against your goals. But I just want to bring it back again to what I said at the beginning and why we believe that we will be successful in this space. And why it's so important, I think, for all of us, is that it comes back to culture. It comes back to culture. You have to have the right culture within your organization to deliver against this. You have to have a culture that isn't afraid of change, but embraces it. Because the space we are in, and we talk about this all the time, and I say it, and I sound like a broken record, and I know, I get it, but the pace of change is the slowest it's ever going to be right now. It's only going to get faster. And if you do not have not just the right infrastructure and the right processes and all of the technical elements in place, but the right culture that can embrace that change, you're going to struggle. But if you do have the right culture that can embrace that change, you're really going to thrive. And you're going to be incredibly successful in this digital economy. So every single year, what we've been doing as we've changed this summit and changed the agenda is I'll come out and I'll do my opening remarks. And then we'll have a keynote speaker come on and have someone talk to you that's really not just been part of our industry, but has really helped to change and shift things within society. I mean, we've had some pretty extraordinary speakers over the last several years. And we've set up the format this way because we want to make sure that you have, one, a lot of time to hear from the speaker, but even more importantly, so that right after this person is done presenting, you break for lunch and you have time to reflect on what they've just said. And we've been really thoughtful about trying to get people that are provocative and give you a chance to think and think about things and see things differently and just take on a different perspective. And just like with the summit and putting this together and raising the bar, that's exactly what we've wanted to do with our speakers every year, is raise that bar. And this year, I know that we've done that. So our keynote speaker this year is Arianna Huffington. Now, I know all of you are familiar with who she is and a lot of her accomplishments. But when you think about the things that I was just talking about, in the digital economy and having a startup that also might be connected to a legacy business, I mean, that is what she did. She reinvented digital news. And she got a lot of criticism along the way, but I would argue she was the most successful. And then now she's reinventing with Thrive how we think about ourselves and how we get the best out of ourselves and take care of ourselves. And I know she's going to reinvent that all over again. And so we're really fortunate, and I was thrilled when she was able to come here and accepted our invitation to have Arianna Huffington come speak to us. So for me, I just want to thank you. It's such a privilege for me to be able to stand up here in front of you, to have you be part of this, to make this summit what it is. It is our team's favorite week of the year. It is far and away my favorite week of the year. This moment actually of being on stage is something that I always look forward to because it's such a privilege to talk to all of you. So thank you so much for being here. Thanks so much for making this agency what it is. Thank you for everything that you do, and please join me in welcoming Arianna Huffington.